All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, speakers, I'd like to encourage you to mute yourselves first, okay? Have your mics mute first, so I can go ahead and introduce the show to our audience. So when you're not speaking, make sure you have your mics muted. Thank you. Okay, everyone from Facebook or other, thank you very much for joining us. As you can see, we have a full house today. We have a fabulous array of women leaders from all over the world. I'm going to let them speak later on one by one. But today we have a very, very awesome program. And awesome, I mean that by, like earlier today, I was listening to a podcast being done by Michelle Obama, and she was explaining to a guest that every single woman or every single man, for that matter, every single child is born with a light with them. All of us come with a light. So today we're going to find out how all these incredible, inspiring, and phenomenal female leaders and movers and shakers from all over the world, how they became who they are today because of the women behind them, how they have been inspired, who these women mentors are, and what they did to support the leaders of today. So, because we have so many women having so many great stories to share with you, I'm not going to have them wait too long, okay? So let me go ahead and make sure all our speakers are on stage first. So we're going to start today with, let me see, introducing myself first. This is Shirley Win Chow, and I am the today's host, and also I have the fortune of joining the Face of Woha community, and I've been Resilience Jedi in the last few years, and using my voice as a social emotional intelligence coach, a Jack Canfield Success Principles coach, and also as an author of 3 best-selling Amazon books to let all the girls and women know that they can reinvent themselves at any stage of their lives and build their dreams in joy and confidence. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring on our first guest, April Lamb. April, you can unmute, okay?
Yeah, hello everyone. So
Let me
happy
bring,
to join all these fabulous ladies.
let me see. Wait a second, okay? Because I don't see
No
you, so
problem.
make sure you are on stage.
Yeah,
And let me
yeah,
feature you, okay?
yeah.
All right. So, April, can you
Great.
tell us who is the most inspiring woman in your life,
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
and how she inspired you to be the leader that you are today?
This is a really tough question because there are so many women who inspire me, especially lately. If you guys have watched the Oscar award, Michelle Yeoh from Malaysia, she's a Malaysian Chinese. She's like the latest role model of many female in this part of the world, because of her determination and how she evolved from being the daughter of a very rich family, but she never relied on that. And she built her own expertise and went through a lot of hardship. So she's my number one role model. Besides her, I think Sheryl Sandberg from Lean In is also a very great example. I really admire how she built a community for women, starting with her personal experience, sharing her vulnerability of losing her husband, and how she faced all the challenges in a world of men in the tech industry. And then now she has communities all over the world, including Asia Pacific, and published all these books and the TED Talk. I think the impact taught me a lesson that no matter where you are, you do have an impact and a voice for everyone in the world, regardless of gender, religion, race, and everything. And you just need to keep on going the journey. So this is what I remind myself in my entrepreneurship every single day.
Beautiful. So, besides this particular inspiration, source of inspiration, do you have anybody in your own family who has played?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think my mom is definitely the one. So I came from a family with three daughters, and my mom, so four women um, in the family. And in my mom's family, there were also three sisters. So we all grew up with so many women. All the family gatherings are full of women. And I've always witnessed how they brought the family together, how they worked hard in their own business, balancing family and also helping out, supporting the husbands for their businesses as well. So I think this women perspective and the resilience is very peculiar for Asian women, especially in her generation. And for my generation, how do I bring that forth and to build that with all these technology and global communities that we know? I think this integration of old and new is something that I have to learn.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, going on with the next speaker, we're going to invite Kandal. Let me bring you on. Wait, hold on a second. Kanwal. Kanwal, do you see us? Let me see.
Hello.
Hi there. Okay, I'm going to take you onto the big screen. All right.
Hello.
Hi, yes. So, can you share with us your journey as a leader, who inspired you, what she's done, and how you're using her inspiration to lead?
Good evening, ladies. Um, Today, I want to talk to you about someone who has a major influence in my life, and I want to share about them. Na? Yeah, I will tell you the inspiring story of Muniba Mazari, who also as the Iron Lady of Pakistan. At the young age of 21, Muniba's life took a tragic turn when the car accident left her paralyzed. So it happens like this that when her husband fell asleep while during the driving the car, and the car fell in a ditch, and
Oh,
fortunately her yes, fortunately her husband um jumped out matlab, managed to jump out and save himself, and she was very happy to see that her husband is alive. But when she stay inside the car, the matlab, she is totally injured, a lot of injured. The wrist was fractured, and the shoulder bone, the collarbone, and the rib cage got fractured.
wow.
And the cause of the rib cage injured, the lungs and the liver badly injured, and even she couldn't breathe. She lost her urinal bowl control. Three vertebrae of her backbones um, were completely crushed, and she got completely paralyzed. So cause of spinal injury, she not be able to walk, and she not be able to even give birth in future. So that even left her devastated and questioning her purpose in life. But however, Muniba's optimism and resilience help her to carve out a positive future and for herself. She emerged as a talented artist and model, and later become a motivational speaker. And in her talk, that Muniba's challenges the stigma of disability in Pakistani society, and and encourage others to see their abilities rather than their disabilities. So, despite facing numerous challenges, Muniba refused to give up on her dreams, and she ended up divorcing her husband, adopting a child. Nowadays, regularly she appears on TV screens as an anchor, and her story really motivated and inspired me. Many people around the world, and has been recognized by the BBC and Forbes.
Wow.
And now, as a Pakistani, she is now a motivational speaker and activist and national ambassador of United Nations of Pakistan. मतलब, she is representative over in United Nations. So although Muniba's journey is a testament to the power of
I think we just lost you a little bit. Maybe we can catch you back in a split second. Okay, we're going to give Kanwal a little bit of time. Speakers, you can comment what you think about her story so far.
It's inspiring. It's motivational. Just to think. So thank you so much for sharing. To think that someone could start from humble beginnings and be an advisor for the UN is
Yeah,
just, it's astounding. So thank you so much for sharing.
absolutely. We all have a chance. We just have to be resilient, right?
Indeed.
Okay, now let's see. Kanwa, are you able to maybe wrap up? I think that there's some kind of signal problems, okay? But I really think that all of us have enjoyed the story a whole lot. So let's move on for the next speaker. We are now going to the UK. So let's have Dr. Annette join us.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yes, perfectly.
First of all, I mean, thank you. I mean, what I've heard so far is so inspiring. So yeah, it's very influential just being here. And when I was thinking about the most impactful women in my life, there are so many people that I meet on a day-to-day basis, just people in the supermarket, people when I hear their stories and about how they've overcome adversities, and they inspire me all the time. But then when I thought a bit deeper into the role models that, you know, really impacted my life, there's 3 or 4 that I just want to talk about and share. One of them was Princess Diana. She was full of compassion. She was a humanitarian. People loved her warm, genuine nature. There aren't many people probably here today that don't know of her. But she was such an icon, not just about a fashion icon. She was there. She was the people's princess, and her heart was so big. And I always took inspiration of the fact that she was very famous and she was very wealthy, but she still did so many things that were so grounded and for people in need. So she's one of my role models. This might sound a little bit weird, but Queen Elizabeth, who sadly passed away last year, she, from my knowledge and from what I've seen living in the UK, she was a very strong woman. She was loved by many people all over the world for a level-headedness, shall we say. And in a crisis, she always made everybody feel, if she put the UK at ease when there was things going on that people were really distressed about, she just had this really inner calm and strength about her that I suppose we would have to know her personally to find out more, but there was always that calm ease about her. And again, that was something that I kind of drew on myself. I've had a lot of coaches over the years, a lot of mentors, and one in particular, who's in the not in the UK, sorry, she's in America, Sabrina. She's a very level-headed businesswoman. She's very warm, very caring, and very funny. But the thing that I love about it is that she only wants the best for her clients. So if I'm working with her, she only wants to give of her best to me, but she wants the best for me. And that's not coming from a place of forcing me or pushing me anywhere. It's about what I feel is my best and where I want to go. And again, within my work, my coaching practice, it just gives me that added edge to be able to use those kind of skills and abilities. And finally, Oprah Winfrey, as she overcame massive adversity, judgmental comments, attitudes to be a very successful TV and radio presenter, despite what other people thought about her, despite, you know, the thing that people said that she wasn't going to make it. And you're right about resilience, fortitude, never giving up, and all those people together, all that together. I use all those positive qualities in my own coaching, working with women, the own adversities that I've overcome, including domestic violence and mental health. All those life experiences have given me the qualities and the things that I believe make me really good at what I do. But at the forefront of it is always about the people that I work with. Very much so.
Beautiful, beautiful. I agree. I mean, I don't think anybody, what's the age? Maybe 10, under the age of 10, might not have heard Princess Diana, right? But anyone who's older than 10 probably have, in some way, one way or another, heard of or seen the videos of Princess Diana being a real people's princess. And that empathy and that kind of easygoingness and the realness of this woman is really, I think, is timeless, right? Because at the end of the day, we are a human being before we are anything else, or any titles or accomplishments or awards or books or whatever. Those things don't really matter. But what we really think and believe in, and the deeds that we do, the words that we speak, and the way we look and hold each other, that is what really counts. Okay, amazing. So let's go take a little tour, take a little virtual plane, and we're going to fly off to Fairfax. And we're going to invite my dear friend, Sharon Yip, to come on. Hello, Sharon.
Hello.
How are
Hello,
you?
everyone. I'm
Yes.
good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this show. Fantastic show, and I'm happy to see all the fantastic women. So regarding female role model, I would say the person who influenced me the most is, her name is Deborah Boulanger. She's a life and business coach in New York, USA. I met her online probably like 8 or 9 years ago. She specializes in coaching female entrepreneurs. I would say people who want to switch their life from corporate to business, running their business. What she impressed me the most is her passion, determination in helping other women, especially older women who are trying to have a business at a later stage in their life, such as like in their 50s. This is similar to my situation. Many people, started their business when they are young, they are energetic, they have a lot of opportunities ahead of them, but it's more difficult to have your business after you have been working in the corporate, at a job for many years, and now you are getting older. It is very difficult. But what Dad did was she set up some systematic programs, coaching programs, to help other female who wanted to launch their own business at a later stage. And many of those women, just similar to me, they actually do not have any support because they're divorced, or they don't have other family, friends who can help them either financially or even emotionally. So they have to be on their own. And that is very caring, and she is kind, and she really devoted a lot of her time and effort in helping other female to succeed. So I would say that she has impacted my life both at a personal level as well as from a business perspective.
I would like to introduce Sharon to you as a friend, everyone. Sharon and I actually went to college together, and we were both music majors at the time. And for some curious reason, we both ended up migrating to the US, and we got disconnected for a very long time. And when we somehow, when the universe brought us back together, we have very similar life stories in the respect that we were both really just we felt very isolated or singled out. We didn't have parents or a lot of mentors helping us, rebuild ourselves. But it was through these female mentors, just like the one that Sharon was talking about, these business or life coaching and life rebuilding coaches, mentors, who really helped us recognize who we really are without the husbands or without the past. We Asian women, I don't know, I'm totally making a stereotype here, okay? We love to hold on to the past, don't we, Sharon?
Yeah.
And I see April smiling, okay? And we just ruminate and ruminate. Oh my God, my past was so bad. And I totally resonate with Sharon that we women after the age of 50, if we do not believe we have the resilience and we have the brains, and we also have the community like the one that you are all being in right now, this beautiful Breaking the Ice Talk community, the Facebook WOHA, and our illuminary Desiree Richardson, who's our, the woman who created this phenomenal platform for us. We are not alone. And we're not too, right, Sharon?
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to actually jump in real quick. Also say, if you want me to choose a second model, I would say it's surely you, because not just because you are my best friend, also because you supported me through a long, long time when I am in the US alone and struggling through the past 10 years, going through divorce, going through change in my career and trying to build my own business. I saw a lot of resilience in you because you have been going through your own life changes and a lot of struggles along the way as well. So it's very inspiring to me. So I want to say thank you, and I'm so glad, so blessed to have you as in my life.
You are just so sweet. I'm just part of, I think, the guardians that I'm sure all of my fellow panelists will feel this way. When the student is ready, the teachers appear. And sometimes it's our best friends. Sometimes it's like Carolyn, my resilience Jedi sister, who found me through Facebook. And so many of you here who just somehow will show up when, I needed help. And so every woman out there, or girl, young girl, because I have invited some of my teenage students to come see us tonight, you are never alone. All you have to do is ask. As a Canfield trainer, ask, ask, ask. And help is always right next door or just a click away. Like, our Breaking the Ice talk, you can tune in. We have so many talks all the time. And it's much better than watching YouTube, okay? Watching TikTok, okay? Much better for you. Okay, anyway, thank you, Sharon. Now, I would like to invite our my Jedi sister, Carolyn, because she actually has an award to catch in maybe an hour, right? Carolyn. Is your mic on, Carolyn? Let's see. Hi there, my sister, my Jedi sister. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I muted myself. I don't know how I did that. My bad. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. To all of my amazing queens and sisters, yes, I am the Resiliency Jedi, this girl sister on the other side, from the other side of the world, from another mister. Anyway, so this is what you get 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I don't even want to know what I'm like at 9 o'clock at night. But listen, when this first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to be on this platform with all of these amazing queens. When we talk about, who is the most influential woman, and what did she do to inspire you, that allow you to lead? Immediately, my grandmother. Immediately. I could have thought of 1,000 other people, but it was a no-brainer. I know that seems like it's a 5-year-old or a 5th grade, project. My mom, my grandma, but it has to start from somewhere, right? And for me, it was my grandmother. And then when I thought about it some more, I said, wait a minute, it's also my mother. And then when I thought about it some more, it's all of the women that I've come from on my maternal and my maternal and paternal side. When I reach back and I find out about the women, who they were, when I ask questions, when I find out how resilient they all were, how powerful they all were, how the strength that they had to migrate from different places. My grandmother, who's German, how she had to come across to the United States as a white woman to be in the interracial South and can't go down to the South because she married a Black man. So, what was her story to have that strength and that courage to leave her land and to come here with her children where she wasn't going to be accepted, to have my grandmother, my other grandmother, to become a seamstress and to watch her, fill everyone's life with joy when she was helping them with their weddings, and just everyone that was with her. I always noticed that she left this impression. She had such a light, even to this day, with her being 90, almost 95 years old. So I have to give flowers this is my award I'm getting later for receiving my flowers, but I have to give her flowers. She always says that I'm her hero, but she truly is my shero, because I would not be here if it wasn't for her. And because I am a survivor of sexual child abuse, that led into domestic violence, that led into being a single parent, that led into being on welfare, that led into being homeless, that led into, do I need to continue? But it was because of my grandmother, who did not judge me. When I came home and I told her when I was 18, I was pregnant, she said, okay, so what are we going to do now? When I got evicted from my home, she said, okay, we'll just come move back in the room. So when I tell you, we can say all these other people, but when you take it back to home, that's who's the most influential person in my life, because I live my life and I look at other people without judgment. At least I try not to, right? I have this perseverance. I have this determination. And I have this kindness and this light that I know it comes from within, and it comes from what I saw. And then here we go to my mother. My mother, rest her soul. She did everything she could for me, although she had epilepsy. My mother worked tirelessly. She woke up early in the morning. I never saw her in the morning. When I came home, she was asleep. But she did one thing every morning. She always left me a bowl of oatmeal covered in saran wrap with a piece of soggy toast and a vitamin, because she wanted to make sure that I had some nutrients going on every day. She did this tirelessly. She made sure she educated me. She did the things that she knew what to do, how to do the best way she could. And so because of that, I learned to persevere and to push no matter what, because if my mother can do it and sacrifice and put me through all the things, my mother owned nothing. But everything she had, it went to me. So I do the same for my children. I do the same for everyone else that I come encounter with. Everyone that knows me will understand and get to see, wow, that's where that comes from. Yeah, it comes from my grandmother. You ever hear the saying, you have a praying grandmother? I have one. I have a whole bunch of them. And once, like I said, when I learned about my ancestors and how courageous they were and all the things, because I always say, well, tell me about her. I want to know, because I come from that. I come from strong women. I come from women who went against all kind of adversity. So I am her because of them. So that's when you ask me, it's a 10-folded question, but it has to come from my lineage. It has to come from me. Before I look to someone else, I have to look within and see who were the people that inspired me and influenced me within my own life. that allows me to be positive, allows me to have the strength, allows me to persevere, allow me to be resilient. Because listen, we all know life throws us curveballs. Life is a roller coaster, and it allows us to just continuously get past it. At least I know I have. And that's what I want everyone else to do. And everyone that comes in encounter with me, because I am the fearless magnified educator, because I'm going to educate everyone about, listen, you don't have to worry about what you've been through. You can still have a good life, even after past trauma and abuse, just like me. So Shirley, thank you, my Jedi sister.
Back to you. And it's very funny how you actually mentioned about your grandmother. I was thinking today, because we have such a full house, I may not even get to talk about my own mentors or my most inspirational woman, but she happened to be also my grandmother. And she also kicked butt. Okay, she kicks butt at so many levels. But I'm not going to talk about her. I'm going to let my next guest talk about her role model. Now let's bring on Dr. Now this is a very tricky name to say, but I'm going to try it because I do come from a background of opera singing. Supriya Kumaravelam. Okay, so let me see if I can bring you on stage here. Okay, let's give you a solo layout. Here we go.
A warm greetings and a lovely hello to all the beautiful women across the globe. If I talk about my female role model, that is only one personality in the world. And that comes first in my mind, who is a heartthrob, who is a heartbeat, and without whom I cannot imagine my life. And she is none other than my great, honored, inspiring, who told me, women, thy name is fragility, but you are stronger than the mountains. And she is my great mother. Well, what she has done for me, it's an endless list. Because when I was born, in my society, I have been treated as a weaker section because women are always considered to be the weaker section of society. But when I saw my mom, who has taught me, who has bringing me in such a beautiful manner, who has told me a woman has several roles. A woman is a best wife, a woman is a best mom, and a woman is a best entrepreneur. So never underestimate yourself or being a weaker section of the society, because women has the power of giving a life, and that is equal to God. We have that position. And when I was a kid, whenever I will lose some games or battles, and as a crying child, I will come to my mom. I didn't win. She will tell only one thing. It's always next time. It's always next time. And not a word of disparity or nervousness she has allowed to grow in my ambience. Starting itself, I have seen her the best cook in the kitchen, the best teacher, and the best motivator. And the best thing is, I have seen a wonderful woman who can manage her professional work and personal work in such a balancing manner that still she inspires me. The leadership traits which we talk about, and if I talk about charity, then charity begins at home. And I have seen all the leadership traits and I have learned from my mother. One incident I would love to tell you: when I was in my college, when I was doing my MBA, due to one infection, and you can say bad luck, I totally lost my voice. And then you can imagine how the world would be for me. And doctor had said, till 6 months, anything can happen. Trust me, folks, it's my own story, not a cooked up story. And that time, when I lost this whole battle to speak, because speaking was not only my profession but also one of my passion. And without speaking, my life was like a dark clouds. And that time, my mom came as a silver lining in those dark black clouds. She told me, she has continuously told me, get up, move up, you can do. And the word can do was not only a word of can do, because it has made me get up from the bed. She used to take me to ENT specialist. She used to train me. She used to tell me, speak up. And by the great grace of God and my mom's continuous hard work of practicing, motivating, I started speaking, and I gained my lost voice, which I had never ever imagined in my life, to get back. And today, by the grace of that role model, by the grace of that God, you can say, because she's next goddess to me, who has given me another life. And she is none other than my mom. And she has told me one beautiful thing, which I would love to share with everyone today. And that golden words are, to all the beautiful women across the globe, people will break you, people will rate you, people will shake you, and people will hate you. I repeat, people will hate you, shake you, break you, rate you, but it's you who will make you. So start making yourself, and never think that we can't do. We can do what even when we have not decided or even we have not thought. And as a woman, we always say our destiny. No, that's what my mother has told me. You have to go on. Our destiny is designed by ourselves. We are the designer of our own destiny. And that's the impactful thing which I had learned. And I will keep passing through generations and generations. And I will say only one thing, that this quality of my mom, who has been inspiration in every phase of my life, whether it's good or bad. And whenever I lose my confidence in every bad phase of my life or every demotivating phase of life, I'll just remember her. I'll just get up and I just move on. So that's the female model which I will be always having in my heart till I perceive and till I prevail in this world. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow. Can we give a virtual round of applause and standing ovation for this? I want to make that into a bumper sticker. Oh my God. Oh my God. I am so glad that we are bringing up our mothers and our grandmothers. And Dr. Supriya brought up a really key point here. And we all know that role modeling starts from home, right? We can learn all kinds of life skills or read and listen to 1,000 hours of podcasts nonstop. But if the closest person that we revere the most, the ones who actually gives us life, if they do not bring us up, they do not support us, there is always this little leak of light that will come, kind of suck the life force out of us. And it also drains us. But the opposite is true as well. When there is a mother figure, sometimes it doesn't have to be a biological mother. We can have many mothers, right? And if that person, just like Dr. Supriya was talking about, just really support you in every single minute way possible. Sometimes it's just a hug, right? Sometimes it's just telling you that you are worth the light, worth the effort, worth the tears. Everything is actually happening for a reason, and you're okay. Then we can sail through any seas. That's so inspiring. Thank you. And you can hear from her voice too, right? I would love to go on stage and sing with you and be in a musical with you. My God, you are a star. And I would love to meet your mom one day.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yes, totally. All right. So next, we're going to take a very long ride to Canada. And I'm going to bring up my inspirational Ignite the Women Leadership author, Marnie. Everyone else, please mute your mics, okay? Marnie.
Good Morning, everyone from Canada. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly.
Great. Well, I just want to start, Shirley, by saying it's an honor and a privilege to be on this panel with so many high caliber women, starting with you, Shirley. So yeah, the Shiro in me honors the Shiro and all of you. Wow, I'm so inspired by each and every one of the women that we've heard on the panel thus far. And like many of you, when I thought about, the women in my life that have inspired me, I went back, sort of deconstructed that, right? Because that's tough, because we know that people come into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And when I went to graduate school, I thought of how they defined leaders. What is a leader, actually? And a leader, when you look at the research, is somebody that creates ideal conditions for you to grow, thrive, and flourish, which is why I think a lot of people started at home with their moms and their grandmas, and myself included. My mom is my Shiro because her generation typically stayed home to raise their children, and my mom did not. She was a career woman, very smart, brilliant, and had a very progressive man in her life, my father, who always encouraged her to be her best self, long before that was, let's say, socially acceptable or the norm. So I got to see in real time a woman that challenged the status quo, and that was very courageous. And I was motivated by that. And then when my mom became very sick and had stage 4 cancer, again, she inspired me with her resilience and how she handled that potentially terminal illness with grace and courage. And I just was in awe of her. So I love her with all of my whole heart, as I know all of you love your moms and grandmas too. And then my daughter, to see the next generation go out into the world. And my daughter is the light and center of my life, and to see her flourishing is just amazing. Then when I looked at sort of somebody that has gone out into the world and done really amazing things that I'm in awe of, who came to mind is my publisher, our publisher, JB Owen. She is a 17-time best-selling author. She's an accomplished publisher, a business leader, and is leading the empowerment publishing industry here in Canada. And her company, in addition to helping 500 authors around the world become best-selling authors, she has now taken her business success and is really paying it forward. She's actually in India right now. She was in the Los Angeles Tribune, I think it was yesterday or the day before. She was profiled because she's met with the Dalai Lama, and she is now stepping into philanthropy. So she has Ignite Humanity and is building schools, one in Indonesia, and now she's committed to building a school in India. And the School of Hope's mission is to build schools in rural and impoverished areas so children everywhere can have the education and literacy that they deserve. And so her mantra is, successful people make other people successful too. And I really admire that, because I think truly great leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. And I see that in every single one of the women on the panel. I just feel your strength and your energy is palpable. And I think that's such a special thing, especially with women, when we create and we hold space for other women to succeed. I think that is so important, because so oftentimes, especially in business, it can get very competitive. And I love what the research says about women helping other women, that you know that you're in the company of a really great leader and a really inspiring person when you can share a success and somebody's genuinely happy for you, or when you can present another woman's success in a room full of opportunities. And so I think for leadership, I'm just so inspired by all of the women, not just on the panel, but in my family and people that I've come into contact with through publishing. that I feel like we're on a really positive trajectory, that people get that we're shifting from competition to abundance, that there's enough for all of us, right? And that spirit of collaboration and cooperation and working collectively to help other women to succeed. I'm turning 52 soon, and I look at my career. I've been in this for 30 years, and I think what I really get excited by is paying forward what I know in terms of information and insight, so that, you know, we're all the sum total of every person we met, right? So we want to put that good back into the world, and we want to create meaningful connections, and we want to help the next generation to be the best that they can be. So that's for me, Shirley. That's where my inspiration starts, with the women in my family, my mom and my daughter, and then also with JBO and from Ignite Publishing.
Yes, the pink billionaire, JBO, and the nice saga. Yes, very, very much. I love the fact that you said a real leader creates more leaders.
Absolutely.
And
Creates more leaders. It's important to understand that we can't know everything, right? Leadership is situational. I'm a great person if you want to know about leadership, or if you want to know about the science of well-being and flourishing. That's my wheelhouse. But technology, my 18-year-old knows more about technology than I will ever know. So it's understanding, I think, what our gifts are. And really, for me, I'm really inspired by servant leaders. You know, this whole idea that, you know, we want to use our gifts in service of others. And there's a bit of this putting yourself first movement. And I kind of push back on putting yourself first. I think it's taking care of yourself, take care of others. It's like they say, playing on before people, it's trying to take care of others wherever we are, whether households, our organizations, our places of work and business. When we work to create the very best conditions, the other people around us can flourish and grow, and that's what we want.
very much so. Now, okay, I am just letting everything sink in, because I feel like all these nuggets of greatness and just really touching stories are giving me, like, every cell in my body a little massage. Sorry, I'm just getting myself together. Like, just oh my God, I'm just having goosebumps. Okay, all right, okay, give me a moment. Okay, now I'm back. I'm going to the next speaker, and let me see where we are now. I think we are going to actually go to Kiran. Kiran, let me bring your intro. There you go. Kiran, are you here? I see you. Okay. Can you speak up? Do you hear us, Kiran? Hi, Kiran. Can you hear us? It's your turn. We can't wait to hear who inspired you. I think we're having a little sound problem there. Can you try to speak one more time? Okay. Maybe you can check your sound. In a little while, we bring you back on, okay? We're not hearing you. Maybe try it again. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll bring you back in a little moment, okay? Let's go to Virginia for the time being. Virginia, Face of Woha. Oh my God, there's just so many titles. Okay, I'm gonna Virginia, hi, can you speak? We are going down somewhere. Okay. Do you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me? Yes, okay. I'm not hearing you for some reason. Maybe it's a technicality. Okay, how about Dr. Janice? Are you around? Okay, the sound seems to stabilize. Okay, Virginia. Okay, I think she's going to sign in again. So, Janice.
Hello, hello, hello.
First, we are now taking a little boat to Indonesia.
There you are. Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? My
Doing
name is
great.
Dr. Janice Farrar Samani, and I just have to say this is quite a privilege. Thank you so much for inviting me, for being a part of this incredible stage today. So, good day, everyone. Good to see you from around the world. I have to say, Shirley, you had mentioned something about the idea of having Asian culture and it's the past. Well, I just have to tell you, as a woman of color, period, I think as a woman, we have a tendency of thinking of our past. We have a tendency of digging deep into our lineage and our legacy as women, because we were the ones that are looking at what our mothers are preparing for meals, or setting standards of how we take care of our families, thinking about our education. And I really, it's not limited. I just want to tell you, it's not limited to the Asian culture by any shape or form. So, in regard to who inspired me or how I was inspired, where do I start? Oh my word. That's a really tough one on many different levels, because number one, I recently just spoke in here in Bangkok, talking about empowerment and how to be empowered, and thinking about empowerment in the context of business and export and all of the like. But interestingly enough, we have to admire ourselves, which is something we don't do. We don't think about the contributions that we truly make on a daily basis. But the women that, or the woman that has inspired me, I would say it changes almost daily, because I'm meeting incredible women that are doing incredible things, that are changing the world. And I would say it, of course, it starts at home. Started with my mother, who actually was married at the age of 21, which back in the day, she was at a very proper age, if you will. And what I found is that my father passed away. So here she is raising 3 children in a different state away from her parents. So she really had to grow up very quickly. And so I admire her. She would never know. She would say, "Oh, that's not true. That's not true." But I really do admire her resilience, her fortitude, her perseverance on her journey of getting to know herself, and how she could actually care for these 3 young children, that she was basically out on her own. Because after my father's passing, she shared this recently. My mom is 83 years young now, and she shared actually just last week when I left California, and said, the people that I knew when your dad passed away, they shunned me. They left me out alone. So if you could imagine a mother, a young mother at in her late 20s, early 30s, with, again, 3 young children in a state 3,000 miles away from her family, not having her family, not having close friends, not being able to connect. So again, I admire her. I admire her tenacity, her resilience, her fortitude, and on that journey of really sponsoring and supporting me, and teaching me everything that I have embedded now as a global trotter. on building my business. So thank you for the moment so I could share that.
I am so grateful that we get to connect and I get to hear about your mom. Because when we met actually in Egypt. In 2020, we were giving speeches and sharing our journeys of entrepreneurship and leadership right before the entire world closed down.
Yes.
Yeah, right before, yeah. And Dr. Janice and I guess my mother sent you to me. I'm one of these I'm one of these children who didn't really get to know my mother because my mother passed away when I was 10. So if I were to talk about her, I don't even know what to tell people about her because for the first 7 years as a child, right, I was pretty much unconscious, right? We know that our brain waves only like go up to a more cognitive state when we get to be older than 7. And so my recollection of my mother was very kind of obscure. But I love hearing you talk about how she, as a single mother, which, I mean, we have a lot of single mothers these days, we know that.
Yes.
And how she just really held on to it. It's not easy being a widower to begin with, but she had all these children to care for. And I mean, I look at you, you're such a role model for me because you are so knowledgeable and you have like maybe 10 brains packed into one head. And it's the same thing with all the leaders tonight on screen, all of my friends and also my new friends in this beautiful community. But it's just not easy being in a man's world, right? In the academia.
Oh my gosh. Ladies, I mean, we're going down a whole different rabbit hole. Let me tell you, being in tech, especially, you know, I was funny the other day. I just have to say, two things, Shirley, real quick. In Egypt, when Shirley and I connected, we just sat next to each other on the bus. Remember that, Shirley? And it was like, we didn't look outside. We just looked at each other the entire time, just talking and getting to know one another. And I started crying and we were hugging, and it was just incredible bonding that only women could have. And it was just amazing. So thank you. And thank you for that time of sitting next to me on the bus, because we've been connected ever since on many different levels. But I wanted to also comment about the whole idea of women in a man's world and that connection. You know, the other day I was at this this conference that we're here in Southeast Asia, and I'm in Bangkok, yeah. So I said, I'm going to wear my glasses because I want them to take me serious. You know, so as women, I just want to connect with everyone that's on the stage today. And thank you, Shirley, again, for allowing me to share.
You're so welcome. Now we are going to go back to the beautiful Puerto Rico. We're going to have Virginia come and try again. Virginia,
Hello.
the Face of World Winner 2022.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Shirley, and every single one of you on the panel today. You women are powerhouses, and I am so proud to be next to you. And the reason why, I have to say that the most admired woman for me is the woman. I have to say that my job is really to help women create some type of side hustle so they can actually go after the autonomous, financials. And the reason why I do this is because I truly believe that women can make autonomous decisions if they are autonomously financially. They do have independence. And there's a difference between being independent financially and being autonomously, financially. When you have autonomy over your financials, you make the decisions that are good for you. So my job for the last 7 years is an organization that I co-founded with 4 other women that I admire so much. It's a non-for-profit in the United States that also caters to any woman that speaks Spanish. And the reason why is because although women in Latina women work everywhere, they still are one of the most less paid. You know, when we look at a scale in the United States where I normally work in, we are 50 cents to every man's dollar. And then you really want to understand why. And you want to understand why the majority of women live certain ways. So my job is to work with women every single day, see them, really recognize who they are and admire who they are, and realize that their experiences, even if they're not that great, will make them the person that they are and will help them really create that side hustle or that job or that opportunity or that business. So I have been privileged and blessed to work with thousands of women, you know, for the last 7 years. And I have to say that I'm in awe of women. We're not only half of the population, we are the mothers of the other half. So many times we forget the power that's within us. And whenever I speak to a woman, I say, what is it that you really love to do, even if you don't get paid? And I see their eyes light up. I am so enamored with that feeling because women are amazing. I was truly blessed to have the mother that I did, but I come from a matriarchal society. The men in my family were not present, maybe because of the war. A lot of them were soldiers, or because of skirts. A lot of them left their wives because they wanted to be with other women. In my case, my dad was not a soldier. So early on, my mom was 24 years old. My dad decided to move her from Chicago to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a Latino island, you know, so we speak Spanish. Our culture is very much conservative. And she didn't speak Spanish. So she came with 3 little kids. She was 24 years old, just turned. And my dad decided to fall in love with somebody else and leave her there. So as I think another one of our panelists was talking, she was in a country she didn't really know very much about. Her ancestors were here, but that was pretty much it. And nobody really wanted to talk to us because to them, women from from North America or United States were liberated. They were different. Women were very much afraid that my mom, being a divorced mom, would want to take their husbands. So as kids, we were very much sheltered and we were very much in our little bubble and our little cocoon. So I became best friends with my brother and my sister and with my mom. We were very poor, to say the least. My mom had 3 jobs to be able to take care of us because my dad did not apply or give us any support. I remember wanting to go to the movies like every other child. And my mom would say, okay, so we're going to the movies. How much do we need? $11. Great. Virginia, you are going to make up a dance. She would tell my brother, you're going to sing. She would tell my sister, you're going to create a costume. And I'm talking about a 5-year-old kid. And my mom would make Kool-Aid, which is a drink that it costs pennies to make, and popcorn. And I would sell little tickets around my neighborhood. And in the afternoon, we would have 30 kids in our little backyard where I would sing and dance and do these little shows, and we would raise the funds to go to the movies. I remember sitting down in that movie theater, enjoying that movie, but not because it was great, because I earned it, because I was part of a team that earned it. So early on, I learned that I had talents within me that would help me really do whatever I wanted to do in the world. Was my life easy? No. My first daughter was born when I was 23. My husband at the time was a very young man also. So we were just learning the ropes. But I have to say that I always had my mother in my brain. I was like, if she could do it, I can do it. And not only that, my mom would always say something that has resonated with me. If you're fearful, do it with fear. So throughout this time, I have had all these little lessons in my life that came from that fabulous woman that's my mother. She's no longer with me. She passed away when she was 52, very, very young. And I think it has a lot to do with the stress of having 3 kids on her own. But the truth is that her life lessons resonate with me every day. And I use these to share it with the world because I learned so much from my mom, from my grandmother, and from my aunts. And today, my sister is an inspiration. My sister has rheumatoid arthritis, and she didn't care. She went after being disciplined, eating the right food, and really conquering the disease. And she's not anymore as crippled as she felt when she first got diagnosed. There are things that we can do. There's power within us. And I learned that from my mom. If I was to look at somebody outside from my family, that would be, and I think we've mentioned her before, Oprah Winfrey, because she had some adverse situations in her life and she became who she was, even when she was not the poster child for being in power. She was a overweight Black poor woman who became one of the richest women in the world to really generously give what she has. And I think that we're all rich enough to give. We are all rich enough to give. Malala, I think she was raised by a dad that believed in her so fearlessly that she believes that every woman deserves that education. And so these are women that I look up to. These are the women that I shared with my daughters. I have two beautiful daughters, and I'm inspired every day by the women they've become because they really have been able to embrace who they are, but they've learned all the lessons that women have given us throughout the years. So I am blessed to be a woman. I am blessed to be surrounded by women. I am blessed to learn from women every day. And I am blessed to make a living by working with women. So what woman is impactful in my life? All women are impactful in my life. So, I have to say that when we really look at it, we make the world move. In World War I and II, when men had to go to war, who do you think kept the world going? Women. So, I think that every day we're going to face obstacles and challenges. Sometimes the world doesn't understand that we are here, part of a component that we really need in order to have a world that's sustainable for all of us to collaborate. So I just have to say, the woman that you have next today in this screen could be your ally. Please believe that you're not alone. Please believe that there's another woman next to you that wants to help you, that wants to help you attain what you want. We concentrate so many times on the women that don't help. Forget about that. She hasn't been enlightened yet, but the good is in her. I just want to say, embrace the woman that you're meeting today. Embrace the woman in your life, even the ones that give you a hard time. Those are the ones who give you the best lessons and the best experiences. So like I said before, I just want to thank everyone and the world that has allowed me to sit here today with Shirley, which is my G100 sister, with Desiree Richardson, that believed in a world where we should all be giving and relating to each other. It's a better world with Desiree in it. And I definitely now feel so, so blessed to have you all in my role too. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Virginia. Now, I have so many thoughts after what you told us, but I want to bring on Kiran because she has been so patient waiting. And so let's see if her mic is working now. So, Kiran, can you say a few things first?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I believe I am audible.
Yes, you are.
All right. So I now it's listening to everyone share the people, women has sharing all the words of inspiration and the role models we are talking about. Everyone has different role models. And as everyone said and shared the experiences, it's really inspiring. And everyone has become the role model now. See, and in my childhood, if I talk about myself, I belong to a family. I was born in a family of farmer, and we had cattle and so many animals in the house. And my mother, being my role model in the beginning, she used to get up early in the morning, 3 a.m. every day, and see the inspiration, the hard work she used to do to bring them up, take care of the family, and everything meticulously she used to do. No pain, no complaints anytime. So I learned from her to be a leader by waking up the first one to wake up in the family. and take care of everything. And she was the one who taught us that, see, even the animals have voice. The body language of an animal, she used to understand. She used to tell us now they want water, now they want food. And she used to take care of them and pamper them like the children, like us. So her stern and her discipline and her dedication to each life at home gave us so much of strength, and gave us so much of strength to me to lead life meticulously and with love and care. This was from my mother that I learned. And when slowly and gradually, when we started going to school, I started admiring my teachers, and teachers became the role models. They taught us how to maintain discipline, how to be be stern and strong, and how to take care of everyone. Again, being strict, they were loving. So that love and being strict, that also taught us to be good leader, because no strictness will work without that human touch or without love. So that was also a very important thing that we learned from our teachers. Specifically, I admire my English teachers who used to tell us so many stories, and through the stories, the inspirations and life skills they taught to be a good leader. That's helping us every day. It helps me a lot, and we become very strong with these ideas. Then, when I got married, I really admired my mother in law. She was so composed, and she never complained. Calm and composed. That's such a beautiful skill for a leader. Never lose patience. But that was what I learned from my mother in law. And as a leader, I always admired Srimati Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India. I still remember during my childhood, I used to admire one picture of her. She was holding the hands of her two sons, Rajiv Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi, and she was moving forward. I predicted it myself that to me this picture meant that, see, a mother, such a strong mother, without any problem, she's leading the nation. She never complained that this motherhood will ever come in between, or it will be a constraint to lead the nation. So a leader can I mean, without thinking that yes, taking the responsibility of a children will be difficult and it will come in between my leadership. No, never. I learned this from her, that yes, nothing can help, and there can be no hindrance, there can be no obstacle which can stop you to be a good leader if you can balance life, if you can balance your family, your children, and your office very well. So management, time management, and management of the family, management balance between office and work, that's very important, that I learned as a leader, which helps me today lead this a batch of around 200 or 250 people in my office every day. So these things may a lot. And every day I learn from my teachers who are working with me, the women teachers. They give me a lot of strength. Each one gives at least one thing to be learned. They also become role models. And my daughter, she is also working in Indian Air Force, and she's in defense services. She also leads her company very well. And decision making, she's very good at decision making. She always says to me, stand by your decision. And that's what I learned from her. So my daughter is also one of my role models. So all these women around, everywhere, without fear, they are leading the nation, and they become the role models. So I, as a leader today, I have learned so many things from even non the people, the women who were not even leaders, like my mother-in-law, my mother, but they were the leaders of the family, in some place leading the place. So I learned so many things from all these women, and they were really inspiring. And this has added lots of confidence and have given me good life skills and good leadership qualities. I really thank them to be in my life. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I love the fact that you are a principal and you are on the field every day, being inspired not only by the people who came before you, like the prime minister you were talking about, right? Your mother, your fellow teachers, but also the students. And that is amazing. Now, I am very respectful of everyone's time, and I'm sure our audience would like to appreciate that too. But I would like to wrap up by sharing that I think leadership, when we talk about the word to lead, it starts with self-leadership. Don't you agree? Right? So if we have anything that we feel like we need to learn and we need to sharpen in terms of life skills or leadership skills, or like Virginia says, hey, we need to know how to side hustle, right? And build different life experiences. All we need to do is to reach out. Now, I have to apologize because the stream only allows so many people to be showing beautiful and empowered faces at the time. So I keep pushing people away and I push myself off. But here we have come to the end of the show. I'm sure we can keep talking for forever and ever, but this is the time for us to wrap up. So I would like to say one thing, and that is in honor of my grandmother and also my aunt. These two women have really showed me how to not take any obstacles and then let them beat me up. Basically, if I want to fight, I always have the resilience and the know-how to fight. And now that I am a better, more enlightened person and learning so much more from people like you, my fellow panelists, I would not use the word fight anymore instead of evolving. So my final word for this beautiful podcast is to engage, to explore, and to evolve into all the beautiful girls and teenagers and mothers and leaders that you are and you will continue to become. So let me say bye to every one of you. And remember, Breaking the Ice is open to all women from all over the world. All you have to do is connect with any one of us. And of course, with Desiree Richardson, our founder. And I bid you farewell and hope that you have the best weekend, whatever hour, however many hours remaining, and that you continue to shine with your lights wherever you are. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Take care.